Your heart is a traitor living inside your chest. Stop. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about the last time you made a decision you regret, the text you shouldn't have sent, the job you stayed in too long, the person you forgave for the 7th time, the opportunity you let slip because you were scared. What was the common denominator emotion? You felt, and because you felt you lost, they told you to follow your heart. They told you that passion is the engine of greatness. They told you that being emotional makes you human. They lied. Your heart is not a compass. It is a saboteur. It whispers sweet lies that lead you into traps. It makes you weak when you need to be strong. It makes you stay when you need to leave. It makes you speak when you need to be silent. Look at your life right now. Really look. The anxiety pulsing in your chest. The fear that keeps you small, the anger that makes you stupid, the hope that keeps you waiting for a miracle that will never come. These are not virtues. These are chains. The world is divided into 2 categories, the emotional and the strategic, the reactive and the calculated, the sheep and the wolves. You have been a sheep. You have been led to slaughter by your own feelings. You bleat when you should bite. You run when you should stand. You beg when you should command. Niccolo Machiavelli understood something that modern society has tried to erase from your mind. He knew that the person who cares the least controls the most. He knew that emotions are weapons used against you by those who have learned to master their own. He knew that power does not belong to the virtuous. It belongs to the cold. Today I am going to show you how to kill the part of you that bleeds. I am going to teach you how to enter what I call the 0 state, a psychological fortress where insults cannot touch you, where betrayal does not hurt, where fear is just noise in the distance. When you reach the 0 state, you become a ghost. You cannot be manipulated. You cannot be predicted. You cannot be broken. But this is not self-help. This is self-surgery. And surgery requires cutting. Are you ready to bleed before you heal? Law. 1. Emotions are outdated software. You need to understand what you are fighting. You are not fighting other people. You are fighting your own biology. Evolution did not design you to be a CEO. It did not design you to be a strategist or a conqueror. It designed you to survive in a tribe of 50 people on the African savannah 10,000 years ago. Your emotions, your fear, your shame, your desperate need for approval. These were survival mechanisms. Fear kept you from being eaten by predators. Shame kept you from being exiled from the tribe. The need for approval kept you safe within the group. But you are not on the savannah anymore. You are in the modern world, a world of markets and manipulation, a world where your fear does not save you from lions. It stops you from starting the business. Your shame does not protect you from exile. It keeps you trapped in a prison of other people's opinions. Your need for approval does not keep you safe. It makes you a puppet. The software is glitching. It is firing alarms in a safe room. And until you recognize this, you will be controlled by code written for a world that no longer exists. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." Translate that. He is saying that emotional people are simple. They react to present necessities, pain, hunger, lust, fear. And because they react, they are easy to control. When you feel a strong emotion, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, strategy, and long-term planning, shuts down. Literally. You become stupid. You become an animal. Your IQ drops 30 points. You scream at your boss and lose your job. You send the desperate text and lose her respect. You make the panicked investment and lose your money. The first step to power is simple. Recognize that your emotions are not truth. They are noise. They are outdated signals from a primitive operating system. You must update the software. You must override the code. Law 2. Kill hope. Install calculation. Hope is a disease, and you are infected. I know this sounds wrong. You have been taught that hope is beautiful. Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is what keeps you going. No, hope is what keeps you waiting. Hope is the drug of the powerless. When you hope, you are saying, I cannot control this, so I will wait for the universe to give it to me. You are praying. You are begging. You are abdicating power. Machiavelli despised hope. He believed in fortuna luck, yes, but he believed that fortuna was a river that could be damned a woman who had to be seized by force, not courted with flowers. He wrote, "It is better to be impetuous than cautious, for fortune is a woman, and it is necessary to hold her down and beat her if you wish to keep her under." The language is brutal, but the lesson is clear. You do not wait for fortune, you force it. Think about the last time you were in a crisis. Financial ruin, a breakup, a failure. What did you do? You hoped it would get better. You visualized. You prayed. You told yourself, things will work out. And what happened? Nothing. The situation only changed when you stopped hoping and started acting. When you got cold. When you looked at the numbers and made the brutal cut. When you looked at the relationship and walked out the door. Action cures anxiety. Hope prolongs it. You must replace hope with calculation. Feel nothing about the future. Do not fantasize about the victory. Do not dread the defeat. Look at the board. Assess the pieces. Make the move. If you lose a piece, do not mourn. Adjust. Move again. This is the zero state. It is a vacuum of expectation. When you expect nothing, you are ready for everything. When you hope for nothing, you cannot be disappointed. And when you cannot be disappointed, you cannot be controlled. Law 3. Excise. Pity, protect your energy. Pity is a trap, and you walk into it every day. You confuse pity with empathy. They are not the same. Empathy is understanding what someone feels. Pity is suffering because they are suffering. And pity is arrogance. You look down at someone and feel bad for them. You feel guilty for being stronger, smarter, richer. So you try to save them. Stop. Machiavelli studied Cesare Borgia, a man who brought order to a chaotic region through ruthlessness. He executed criminals publicly. He crushed rebellions without mercy. The people feared him. And because they feared him, they obeyed him. And because they obeyed him, there was peace. There was prosperity. Machiavelli argued that cruelty well used is a form of compassion. By being hard in the short term, you prevent the chaos that hurts everyone in the long term. You have people in your life right now who are drowning, and you are trying to save them. You are lending them money you do not have. You are listening to their same drama for the 100th time. You are slowing down your own ascent to carry dead weight. Why? Because you feel pity. Because you feel guilty for winning while they are losing. Let me tell you what happens when you do this. You do not save them. You enable them. You teach them that they do not have to solve their own problems because you will always be there. You become their crutch. And a man who leans on a crutch never learns to walk. Worse, you drain yourself. You pour your finite energy into a bottomless pit. And when you finally collapse from exhaustion, do they catch you? No. They step over your body and look for the next savior. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. You cannot save everyone. And by trying to save the weak, you often drag yourself down to their level. You must build walls around your energy. The drawbridge is up. Only those who bring value are allowed inside. Everyone else can sink or swim on their own. Law. 4. Weaponize apathy. Detach from outcomes. There is a paradox in desire. The more you want something, the more it runs away from you. You have seen this. The man who is desperate for the woman never gets her. The salesman who needs the commission smells like fear, and the client walks away. The entrepreneur who is obsessed with the outcome makes panicked decisions and loses everything. Desire creates tension. Tension creates mistakes. To win, you must act as if you need nothing. This is weaponized apathy. It is the ability to look at a high-stakes situation, a $1 million deal, a confrontation with your boss, a crisis in your relationship, and internally shrug. It matters. But it does not matter to me. When you detach from the outcome, you gain total control over the process. Think of the samurai. Before the battle, the samurai accepts death. He considers himself already dead. If he is already dead, he has no fear. If he has no fear, his sword moves with perfect precision. He does not flinch. He does not hesitate. He strikes. You must apply the dead man's strategy to your life. Walk into the negotiation willing to walk away, not as a bluff, truly willing. Because if you are so solid in your own value that the loss of the deal means nothing to you, they feel it. They feel your indifference. And indifference is power. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must imitate the fox and the lion, for the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. He must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." The emotional man is neither. He is the rabbit. He freezes. He panics. The apathetic man can be both. He can play the game because he is not afraid of losing chips. He can walk away because he knows there will be other games. Have you ever argued with someone who genuinely did not care? It is infuriating. It is terrifying. You scream, you threaten, you cry, and they just look at you, calm, blinking slowly. Are you done? They win. They win because your emotional storm crashed against their wall of nothingness and dissolved. This is the power you are building. The next time you face a crisis, visualize the worst-case scenario. See it happen. See yourself losing the job, the girl, the money. Accept it. Make peace with it. Say to yourself, "I am already dead." Then open your eyes and handle the problem. You will find that your hands stop shaking. Your voice drops an octave. Your thinking becomes surgical. You are no longer fighting to survive. You are playing, and the player always beats the victim. Law 5. Dissect emotion, turn pain into data. You are human. You will feel pain, anger, jealousy, betrayal. Machiavelli was not a robot. He was tortured on the rack. He was exiled from Florence, the city he loved. He knew suffering, but he did not wallow. He intellectualized. He took his pain and turned it into a book, The Prince, that has survived 500 years. When you feel a negative emotion, do not repress it. Repression leads to explosion. Instead, dissect it. Treat your emotions like data. I am feeling anger right now. Interesting. Why? Because he disrespected me. Why does his disrespect matter? Because I am insecure about my status. Ah, that is the root. Do you see what just happened? You moved from feeling the anger to analyzing the anger. You moved from the limbic system, the primitive brain, to the prefrontal cortex, the strategic brain. The moment you analyze an emotion, it ceases to be an emotion. It becomes a thought, and thoughts can be controlled. Emotions cannot. This is the alchemical process. The average man gets angry and punches a wall. The Machiavellian gets angry and writes a plan. The average man gets sad and drinks. The Machiavellian gets sad and builds an empire to ensure he never feels that vulnerability again. Machiavelli wrote, "Fortune is the arbiter of one half of our actions, but she still leaves us to direct the other half." Your emotions are fortune. They are the weather. You cannot stop the rain, but you can build the roof. You can channel the water to power your mill. Use your anger as fuel. Use your fear as a radar for risk. Use your jealousy as a map of what you want. But never ever let them take the steering wheel. You are the observer. You are the analyst. You are the architect. Feel nothing personally. Use everything strategically. Law. 6. Master the mask. Hide your coldness. If you walk around looking like a stone statue, people will hate you. They will fear you, yes, but they will also plot against you. Humans are social animals. They trust warmth. They trust smiles. They distrust the cold. So you must learn the art of the mask. Machiavelli wrote, "It is necessary to be a great pretender and dissembler." Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. Inside, you are the zero state. You are cold. You are calculating. You are detached. But outside, you must be charming. You must be warm. You must nod and laugh and look people in the eye and make them feel special. This is not hypocrisy. This is camouflage. If you show the world your coldness, you become a target. Society tries to destroy anyone who refuses to play the emotional game. They call them psychopaths. They call them cold-hearted monsters. So give them what they want. Give them the performance. When your boss tells a bad joke, laugh. Not because it is funny, but because it buys you favor. When your enemy tries to bait you, smile. Not because you are happy, but because it hides your dagger. The separation between your internal state and your external display is the ultimate measure of control. Can you burn with rage inside but speak with a voice like velvet? Can you be terrified inside but stand with the posture of a king? If you can do this, you become unreadable. And if you are unreadable, you are unbeatable. Most people are open books. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, and that is why they are covered in scars. Wear a mask. Keep your heart in a vault. Be a mirror to others. Reflect what they want to see. And behind the mirror, watch them. Study them. Learn their weaknesses. This is how you move through the world without friction. 7. Strategic narcissism. You are the sun. Society tells you that selfishness is a sin. They tell you to be selfless, to put others first, to sacrifice, to be a martyr. Who tells you this? The people who benefit from your sacrifice. The boss who wants you to work unpaid overtime tells you to be a team player. The partner who refuses to grow tells you to be supportive. The family member who drains your bank account tells you that family comes first. They are harvesting you. Machiavelli understood that a prince must be the center of his own universe, not out of vanity, but out of necessity. If the sun burns out, the planets die. If you burn out, everyone who relies on you suffers. You must adopt strategic narcissism. This does not mean you are delusional. It means you recognize that you are the most valuable asset you own. Your energy, your mind, your time. These are finite resources. Every time you get emotional over someone else's drama, you are writing a check from your own account to pay for their mistakes. Stop funding them. You must treat your energy like a fortress. The drawbridge is up. Only those who bring value get in. If someone disrespects you, do not feel hurt. Feel nothing. Simply realize this person is a liability. Remove them. This is not cruelty. This is hygiene. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise prince should rely on what is in his own control, not on what is in the control of others." Your worth is in your control. Their opinion is not. When you stop needing the world to applaud you, you become dangerous, because you can no longer be bribed. Most men are cheap. They can be bought with a compliment. They can be bought with a smile. But the man who values himself above the collective, he is expensive. He is rare. Be the sun. Burn bright. Let the others orbit you or let them burn up. But never ever dim your light to make them comfortable. You now know the 7 laws. But knowing is not enough. Knowledge without action is just fantasy. You must perform the surgery. You must kill the old self. The old self is the one who reacts, the one who hopes, the one who pities, the one who needs approval. That version of you is weak. That version of you has been losing your entire life. And if you do not kill him, he will kill your future. This is the transformation. This is the ascent from sheep to sovereign. It requires brutality. It requires that you look in the mirror and see the betrayer, the version of you that keeps choosing comfort over conquest, the version of you that keeps choosing emotion over execution. You must strangle that version with your own hands. Machiavelli was exiled. He lost everything, his position, his reputation, his city. But in that exile, in that darkness, he did not break. He wrote, he studied, he transformed his suffering into strategy. And 500 years later, we are still reading his words. What will you do with your pain? Will you wallow, or will you weaponize it? When you enter the zero state, something strange happens. The world does not change, but you do. You walk into a room and people feel it. They do not know why, but they straighten their spines. They watch their words. You have become the predator, and predators do not apologize for their existence. You will lose people, friends who cannot handle your new coldness, partners who miss the emotional puppet you used to be, family members who resent that you stopped being their crutch. Let them go. This is the price of sovereignty. Loneliness at the top is not loneliness. It is solitude. And solitude is the throne room. The eagle flies alone. The sheep huddle together, warm, smelling each other's fear. They are safe, but they are sheep. You are no longer one of them. So here is your choice. You can close this video. You can go back to the world of emotions. You can keep reacting. You can keep hoping. You can keep bleeding for people who do not deserve your blood. The world will welcome you back. It loves emotional slaves. They are easy to control. Or you can step into the zero state. You can kill hope and install calculation. You can excise pity and weaponize apathy. You can wear the mask and hide your coldness. You can become the sun that others orbit. But understand this. Once you cross this line, you cannot go back. Once you see the strings, you can never be a puppet again. The world does not wait for the sleeper. It eats him. If you are ready to wake up, if you are ready to stop being prey and become the predator, then you know what to do. Subscribe. Not because I asked you to. Subscribe because you have made the decision. The decision to stop losing. The decision to stop being controlled by outdated software. The decision to enter the zero state and win everything. But if you want what is hidden, if you want the techniques I cannot share publicly, the uncensored strategies that YouTube would bury, click the join button. Step into the architect level. Most will not. And that is exactly the point. The throne is a single seat. Is it yours